I'm trying to see how many people are chewing gum. So, a new study from Ryerson, right here in Toronto, says that gum may be to blame for you staying longer out shopping. Professor Mark Lee and I'm going to say Ksenia
Sergueeva.
So I got it. Who is a graduate student from Ryerson University, join us right now, and you're the authors of the study. So and I'm going to start this by giving Dina some gum.
Typically, this is a no-no on television. You are not to chew gum, but this is the exception, apparently.
Just for us.
So chewing gum makes you stay in a store longer?
Yes, so we ran multiple studies to investigate how chewing gum may influence consumers, and what we found is that people who chewed gum tended to stay longer at the retail store and tended to browse for more items.
But they didn't spend more money.
No, not necessarily. So that's really something that we want to investigate more about later. But in the context of our research, we didn't find that they actually spent more. But just by browsing more items, you get to have more exposure to the items that you have in the retail store.
Okay, Ksenia, I'm sitting here right now. I'm trying to imagine myself walking down the Eaton Center, and I'm chewing this gum. I'm trying to think, would I feel like staying long? Why would this influence how long I stay?
Well, I think it depends on every person. Maybe you'll remember what you have to buy, or maybe you start thinking about something that you need to purchase, or where you go to.
What's the action of chewing doing?
Well, so past studies have shown that chewing increases blood flow to the brain, and also increases concentration, arousal, mood, and also sustained attention. So what's happening is that as you're chewing, these things are happening in play, and perhaps within a retail store, now you're browsing for more items and staying more.
So is it safe to say if I'm driving a car, or if I'm studying for an exam, or writing an essay, if I chew gum, I will have improved focus and concentration and do a better job at it?
So while our research necessarily didn't investigate that, past research has shown that chewing gum may increase concentration. So there is a link between concentration and chewing gum.
How did you get involved with this, Ksenia? And why this particular study?
Actually, when Mark first introduced the study to me, I was already familiar with gum chewing and memory, because I read a study prior, like long before, that if you want to do better on the exam, you need to chew gum. Yeah, and when Mark came to me with the study, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to study this further. It's very interesting. So
for hundreds of years, teachers have demanded the kids take the gum out of their mouth, get rid of it in class. They should be handing out gum as their students come into the class.
However, it depends on how much gum. I read in your study that if you have big wads of it, you know, like the bubble making kind, that it actually decreases the attention span because you're trying to like deal with all the gum. Is that true?
We don't want to say necessarily it decreases attention, but it eliminates the chewing effect that we're talking about. So the optimal number we found was 2, but in a retail setting, it'll be very awkward to give people 2. And even if you give them 2 pieces of gum, they might just chew 1 and save 1 for later.
Chew on that.
All right, hypothesis here. All right, so now the next study should be, does it increase buying? Does it increase spending? What would you think? What would you guess, knowing what you know now? Do you think that chewing gum while you're shopping encourages people to buy more?
It could. I'm
asking you for a definitive.
Well, when I was doing the study and in the retail store, sometimes the participant would come back to me with the results, and when we would count how many items they actually bought versus how many they predicted, when we counted more, they started saying, oh, I'm sorry, I started remembering all the things I had to buy.
It's interesting.
Right, but they didn't spend more money, which I find interesting. They made smarter choices. They took more time making those choices, but they didn't spend more money.
Okay.
Interesting to see where the modern applications apply.
I think it's absolutely fascinating, and I think it opens up all sorts of avenues, not only for further study, but also for sales techniques as well. Peter and Ksenia, thank you so much for being here. More on the study at breakfasttelevision.ca. We'll be right back.
Thank you.